pakinggan, panoorin, agaran in real time, o balikan sa pag-scroll up and down. Mga balitang dapat malaman, impormasyong tunay at napakikinabangan saan ka man sa buong kapuluan. Bangon sa bagong sigla, Kababayan. Kasama ang social media, powered broadcaster ng bagong mamamayan. Tapat sa pag-uulat. Ito po ang Presidential Broadcast Service. Sa Kalbayog, Radyo Pilipinas, 882 AM.
Garantisadong solusyon at aksyon ang handog sa iyo ng Bagong Pilipinas Presidential Action Center. Sundin lang ang mga sumusunod para makakuha ng appointment. Para sa wala pang eGov PH app account, panoorin ang video para malaman kung paano gumawa ng account. Kung meron ng account sa eGov PH app, mag-login dito. Saka hanapin ang online registration tab para sa Bagong Pilipinas Presidential Action Center. Pindutin ito para makita ang available na government services. Piliin ang serbisyo na iyong kailangan mula sa listahan. I-upload ang requirements ng serbisyong kailangan mo. Pumili ng petsa at oras kung kailan nais pumunta sa Bagong Pilipinas Presidential Action Center. I-submit ka ang iyong application at bigyan ng pagkakataon na ma-review ang iyong isinumiting requirements. Hintayin ang QR code para sa kumpirmasyon ng iyong schedule. Makakatanggap ka ng text message para malaman kung naaprubahan ito. Sakaling hindi ito maaprubahan, makakatanggap ka rin ng text message para ipaalam ang kulang na requirements sa kasubukang mag-register ulit. Kung nakatanggap na ng kumpirmasyon, maaari nang pumunta sa Bagong Pilipinas Presidential Action Center sa napiling schedule, dala ang QR code at ang mga isinumiting requirements. Huwag kalimutang dumating sa itinakdang araw at oras ng iyong appointment. Pinapaalala rin na siguruhing may kumpirmadong schedule bago pumunta sa Bagong Pilipinas Presidential Action Center para maiwasang magpabalik-balik. Simple at user-friendly ang pagpapa-appointment dito. Kaya wag nang mangamba dahil sa Bagong Pilipinas Presidential Action Center, tulong ay abot kamay na.
Radyo Pilipinas, Radyo Publiko. Radyo Pilipinas, Radyo Publiko. Mahalagang mga balita, napapanahong impormasyon. Kami ang inyong gabay pag may bagyo at sakuna. Serbisyo ng gobyerno kapag may nangangailangan. Mga proyekto ng Pangulo, damang-dama ang pagmamahal niya. Tulay ng mga hinaing, ang problema ng bayan ating lulutasin. Tulay sa himpapawid, tulay ng pagbabago. Radyo Pilipinas, ng Bagong Pilipinas. Radyo Pilipinas, ng Bagong Pilipino. Mga proyekto ng Pangulo, damang-dama ang pagmamahal niya. Radyo Pilipinas, Radyo Publiko, ang boses ng Pangulo. Karamay nyo kami, kahit malayo man kami nakakarating. OFW magsasaka, buhay ay iba't iba, san mang lugar ng bansa natin. Tulay ng mga hinaing, ang problema ng bayan ating lulutasin. Tulay sa himpapawid, tulay ng pagbabago. Radyo Pilipinas, Radyo Publiko, ng Bagong Pilipinas. Radyo Publiko, Radyo Pilipinas, Radyo Publiko, ng Bagong Pilipino. Mga proyekto ng Pangulo, madama ang pagmamahal niya. Radyo Pilipinas, radyo publiko, ang boses ng Pangulo. Radyo publiko, Radyo Pilipinas, radyo publiko, Radyo Pilipinas.
Sa patuloy na pag-aati ng balita at pagbibigay serbisyo publiko, kinilala ng prestiyosong Asia Pacific Broadcasting Plus Awards 2025 ang galing at dedikasyon ng Radyo Pilipinas. Patunay ito ng tapat na paghatid ng serbisyo sa mga Pilipino, maparadyo, TV at maging sa makabagong paraan ng paghatid ng balita sa mundo ng social media. Sa pangunguna ni Presidential Broadcast Service Director Dindo Amparo, kasama ang lahat ng kawani ng Radyo Pilipinas. Inaalay namin ang pagkilalang ito sa bawat Pilipinong aming pinaglilingkuran.
Radyo Pilipinas, radyo publiko.
Usapang Agrikultura, ang inyong source of daily agri-news. Talakayang siksik sa kaalaman, hatid ay impormasyon mula sa pamahalaan, pagpapayaman sa ating mga likas na yaman para mas mapaunlad pa ang isa sa mga paunahing kabuhayan sa ating bayan. Usapang Agrikultura, dito lang sa Radyo Pilipinas.
Aton oras, 8 minutos sa naglabay sa alas 5. Maupay nga aga sa iyong atanan. Welcome na liwat sa usan na liwat nga mahinungdanon nga episode sa naton paborito nga early morning program. Welcome sa Usapang Agrikultura, anaton kompas ngan kasugbong sa makabag-o nga pag-uma. Dinaliwat kami niyo sa sulod sa usa ka semana. Tikang alas 5 hangtod alas 6. Dede sa aton estasyon 882 kHz DYOG Radyo Pilipinas, Radyo Publiko Kalbayog. Para pagharampangan ang mga makabago nga kinaadman, practical nga tips, ngan mga istorya san pagkamanilampuson sa sektor san agrikultura. Sa ngaran sa nato na acting station manager, Hinaro Navilon, ako niyo mga kaupod, yan ang Lunes Suzette Pretencio. Ngan kaupod naton sa Master Control, Sarah Joven Cardenas, ngan si Kuya Ezrael Ezra Taro. Ngan by the way mga ka-agri, alin nga aton programa iniinahimugso, pinaagi sa kolaborasyon ngan pagpangalimbasog sa Department of Agriculture, ngan Presidential Communications Office, Presidential Broadcast Service, agud makahatag liwat sa aton sa higayon nga ang DA makapadangat sa mga importante nga impormasyon bahin sa mga pitad, inisyatiba, programa ngan proyekto sa Department of Agriculture ngan iya mga attached agencies. So once again, welcome sa sini nga aton Early Agriculture Program. Ngan mga ka-agri, adi na kita sa ika-18 san Agosto, Lunes na liwat, yes. It's another manic Monday for us, diba? Kay mabibisi na katliwat. Nanti kang naliwat sa aton pagtrabaho. Pero pisar nga pag Lunes, damo trabahoon usually. Pero para sa ako mapayliwat ang simbolo san Lunes. Kay iniin baga nahatagan kita san fresh start, oo. So bagan simbolo siya san bago nga pagtikang, diba? So usan naliwat nga higayon para kitain makagplano otro makagtikang san mga bag-o nga mga buruhaton hirimuon ngan syempre aton pagpadayon sa pagtuman sa naton mga plano nga naton mga ginungara sa aton kinabuhi. Nga pa ba ang best way para pagtikangan na naton semana kundi makapamati kita san usang istorya san pagkamanilampuson sa naton kababayan sa sektor san agrikultura. Mga ka-agri, yan ang aga sa Lunes. Pagtitikangan nato na naton semana nga mabiyahe kita pakadto sa syudad san Sibuyas sa Cebu City para kilalano na nun usang farm, ang Growing Greens Farm nga kundi nagsisilbi o nagsiserbe nga example sa pagkamaduruto nga pagkatangkod nga ansakto nga paggamit saan makabago nga pamaagi sa pagtanom. So ato nito mababaroan nano ba ang gintikangan sa Growing Greens Farms panano sira naging manilampuson sa sektor san agrikultura. Ito nato nito niya ilalay guys sa second part sa naton programa. Pero sa pagkaya na mga ka-agri, kay sigurado ka nga ni ba sa iyo katurugon pa? Maong durungan ka tayo na nga maging awake. Oo, awake, alert, alive, and enthusiastic. Pamatian natin ang kanta matikang sa Department of Agriculture, Adi, Ani at Kita.
Sa produksyon, malakas ang kooperasyon. Katuwang ng mga magsasaka, pamahalaan at pribadong sektor. Dadagdagan ang kaalaman sa kabuhayan. Sa negosyo, pahuhusayin ang kakayahan. Angkop at bagong teknolohiya, subsidyo, pagtubig at infrastruktura. Siguradong pagkain sa buong bansa. Masagan ang ani, mataas na kita. Maunlad na buhay ng mga magsasaka at mga mangingisda. Siguradong pagkain sa buong bansa. Masagan ang ani, mataas na kita. Maunlad na buhay ng mga magsasaka at mga mangingisda. Siguradong pagkain sa buong bansa. Masagan ang ani, mataas na kita. Maunlad na buhay ng mga magsasaka at mga mangingisda. Siguradong pagkain sa buong bansa. Siguradong pagkain sa buong bansa. Siguradong pagkain sa buong bansa. Siguradong pagkain sa buong bansa.
Yes, Don Ani at Kita nga halad sa aton sa Department of Agriculture. Aton oras, 16 minutos sa naglabay sa alas 5. Mabalik kita sa aton programa pagkatapos lasan pipira nga mga pahibaro.
Bagong Pilipinas para sa bawat Pilipino.
Bagong Pilipinas is a master plan for genuine development that benefits of all our people. It is a call for transformation. The transformation of our idea of being a Filipino and the transformation of our economy, of governance, of society.
Hindi puro salita, pamahalaan ay magsisilbing halimbawa.
Sa Bagong Pilipinas, ang pagbabago ay nagsisimula sa pamahalaan.
Pagsiservisyo sa publiko, tapat, mapagkakatiwalaan at dekalidad.
Huwag nating pahirapan ang taong bayan. Bagkus, suklian ang kanilang tiwala ng magalang na panunungkulan.
Sa nagkakaisang gobyerno at mamamayan, malinaw ang payapa at maunlad na bukas.
Sa Bagong Pilipinas, may pag-asa ang lahat. Ang pag-asa ng bayan ay nasa ating lahat.
Isang mensahe mula sa Presidential Broadcast Service at Radyo Pilipinas.
Sa pagkilala sa mahalagang papel na ginagampanan ng mga magsasaka sa pagkakaroon ng sapat na pagkain sa bansa, sinimulan ng Department of Agriculture ang pagbuo ng Farm and Fisheries Clustering and Consolidation Program o F2C2. Sa pagsasama-sama at pagbubuklod-buklod ng mga magsasaka at mangingisda na nagkakalapit at nagkakatulad ang produksyon, tutulungan sila ng F2C2 na matukoy ang kanilang mga pangangailangan, mapabuti ang kanilang produktibidad, makamit ang economies of scale at gawing negosyo ang kanilang mga aktibidad sa agrikultura at pangisdaan. Para sa iba pang impormasyon, bumisita sa opisina ng DA8 F2C2 Regional Secretariat, Canhurao Hill, Tacloban City. Isang paalala mula sa Department of Agriculture, Regional Field Office 8 at ng himpilang ito.
Nakasuporta sa inyong kabuhayan, kaagapay nyo sa masaganang kinabukasan. Usapang Agrikultura dito sa Radyo Pilipinas.
Aton oras, 18 minutos sa naglabay sa alas 5. Kamuin padayon nga namamati sa Usapang Agrikultura. Dinila sa aton istasyon 882 kHz DYOG Radyo Pilipinas sa Radyo Publiko Calbayog. Nga sugad nga ni sa naton ginsereng antes kita mag-break nga aton pagharampangan yan na ang aton tupiko usa nga istorya san pagkamanilampuson didto sa syudad san Cebu. An istorya san pagkamanilampuson san Growing Greens Farms nga kundi ini talaga nagsiserbe nga inspirasyon kung paano pinaagi san pagkamadaruto nga sakto nga kinaadman pwede ngayon nga mag-uswag nga mapaupay ang kinabuhi san usa nga paraguma. Mao durungan kita nga ma-inspire nga durungan kita nga makahibaro san mga kinaadman nga makakuha san words of wisdom kung paano maging manilampuson sa sektor san agrikultura. Mao dire na naton paihaon pa adi an success story san Growing Greens Farms tikang sa Cebu City.
Magandang araw. Welcome po kayo dito sa Growing Greens Farm. This is located here at Barangay Sudlon Onos, Cebu City. Alina! I am Oliver Patling Rao, 63 years old, just retired from the Department of Agriculture. Now I am into farming. We started with herbs, salad, and now we are now into production of potted herbs and some ornamentals being distributed at the different supermarkets, malls of this city, Cebu City. And we are now into the production of more and more plants because there's a big demand at the malls. No? There were groups like metro groups of chain of malls, and we had also the SM malls. So it will requires a lot of plants, resources, in order to establish fully and sustainable volume of production to be delivered twice weekly and throughout the years, no? Because here, this business, we will not be only delivering once a week, maybe twice or 3 times a week, and that will cover for the rest of the years. Like for example, we were been there for 3 to 8 years, so it requires a lot of time, requires a lot of plants, requires a lot of varieties of salad, herbs. So that's it. We need to upgrade also our system so that we could facilitate and improve the existing markets. What we have here now is that before we have only 1, it increases into 5, and then later on it is expected to have another 20 or more branches in this province alone. So that's a big resource required to be maintained and to help expand everything here. It's nice to have it this kind of venture, because for the last 3 to 5 years or 3 to 8 years we've been there and we had been sustainable, and we are now into another chain of stores. So it's good business. I was working before at the Department of Agriculture. I started working at 1980. I started from the very, very low item, and that was just artificial breeding technician. I grew up into a livestock inspector, and then researcher, and then becomes a center chief, and became the lead coordinator of the corn program for the region. And I had been working with the United Nations, FAO, at South Pacific program. And then with the rationalization program, I opted to retire. And after my retirement, I was hired by the French Red Cross to help their livelihood program, and then help some other schools to develop their agricultural program under TESDA. And I teach a lot of students, a lot of farmers. Then we established demo farms and everything. So now, aside from maintaining our farm, we had also some sidelines like that. And then I started working at again 1980, become provincial, national employee, and then researcher, and then work abroad for a little time. And then now here, still love to work in the farm. So 2013, I opted to retire, and farming makes me feel happy. When we started farming, it was just a hobby of having herbs, having salad, and from time to time, we had a time to gather some new varieties, new species of herbs, new species of salad. Like, for example, when we started the salad, we have the arugula, but some demand, like baby rockets, the small or wild arugula, there's a big demand from the big hotels like Shangri-La. They were buying it from us. And when we started some herbs, we tried to plant for our own use. But gradually, we expanded the number of plants, the number of plots. We were able to have a bigger supply. Now, when we have this bigger supply, some of the hotels and restaurants were buying it from us. Like, for example, the Timad Bistro, it is a foreign-owned, managed by some of the European businessmen. They were buying it from us, the salad, the herbs. So, since we were able to supply and maybe we were able to satisfy their requirements, they are still our customers even now for more than 7 years. Aside from those, like for example, is dragon fruit. Friend of mine just gave me a piece or two dragon fruit cuttings. We tried to plant it here just for a trial because again, this type of plant is considered as cactus, and cactus doesn't love so much of water. So we have it here planted, and we were trying to have it establish it here, and then to my surprise, and not even a lot of fruit, but it is even much sweeter compared to the other, because as we know, when these fruit crops are planted in higher elevation, makes the fruit much sweeter. So from there, we expanded from few plants. Now we have hundreds. So according to some or many of our customers, they said our dragon fruit looks much better. So this our dragon fruit is so smooth compared to the others, and according to what we had experienced or what we had harvested, grows good. We had an average of 600 to 700 grams per fruit, and some of our fruit reaches more than a kilo. So yeah, there's a lot of demand from it. So whenever our customers were able to taste or to buy our products, they need to have more and more. They demanded to have more products to be delivered into them. So again, I would say when you have well-drained, although our area here is totally the higher part of the highest rainfall throughout the province, but when you do the proper or go away with the stagnant water, you could produce a lot of fruit. And one of our secrets here to have more fruit is that we were able to have or establish within the farm, we have the colonies of the stingless bees. These stingless bees are responsible to pollinate our dragon fruits, especially during the very early times of the day, because the dragon fruit will close their flowers at 8 o'clock in the morning. So our bees, our stingless bees, plus our local bees living in our forest, they are the one responsible to have pollinated our dragon fruits, and we have a lot of production per unit area or per tree or per plant, no? So here, for the dragon, not only for the dragon fruit, but for our chayote, for our citrus, we need to have pollination, good pollinators, and we have the stingless bee or Trigonola. We had also the Apis cerana, and we have also Apis dorsata living here in our forest, in our own property here. So by doing this, we try to conserve our forest. We try not to have a lot of burning in our field, so that we will not be driving away the pollinators. So that is it. And then in some cases, like for example, our rabbit, we started with only 2 heads. Now we have more than 100. We have sold a lot. We have eat a lot, but they keep on growing, expanded, and we're even out of the cage because they reproduce too much so rapidly. Our problem is where to put them because they have multiplied a lot. And one good thing of this rabbit, since our area here has a lot of rainfall, a lot of water, a lot of moisture, our napier grass and some other grass, they are growing so wild, so we never run out of feed for the rabbits. A lot of grass, then we never out of feed for the rabbit, and then even though this population will double, will triple, we cannot consume all the grasses here. Maximizing your resources within your area. So, speaking out of the resources, rabbit manure is very good for our dragon fruit, for our calamansi, for our American lemon, Baguio lemon, and some other herbs. They are very great resource for fertilizing our own crops. Aside from those, we started with some other animals. We have few chickens. During the pandemic, we never go out this place, but we were able to manage our resources. So we have fresh eggs every day. We have the vegetables. We have the meat, because we have the meat from the chicken, we have the meat from the rabbit. If you wanted to have roasted pig, we have also before. If you want to have lechon rabbit, we have native chicken. So basically, the requirement for meat and eggs are just here. Requirements for spices and herbs, the salad, is also here. And aside from those, we have also fish. So we are tired of eating meat, we have fish. In this particular area, you don't need to go out and buy for more. For the straight pandemic time, which is about 2 years, we were just here, enjoying the produce of the nature, from meat, vegetables, herbs, eggs, fish. We are just here in a 3-hectare area. And then, aside from those, when I come to visit Davao, I was able to buy 3 pieces of disc roll variety of strawberries. Now we are producing strawberry jam. Aside from being we harvested fresh, but because of the short shelf life of the fruit, we opted to have it processed into jam. And along the side of the strawberries, we also have this gerbera. It is not really designed to make a lot of money, but when we have it, we were just having it just for the sake of minimizing soil erosion. We upgraded our area here to collect more varieties and new varieties of gerbera coming from different locations, and I guess we have more than 10 varieties as of this time. So it will help also to have this area here to become more colorful, meaning when they are very colorful, it will also attract tourists here. In the long run, we might advertise this area for agritourism. What are the things could we offer? We could offer fishing, lechon, rabbit lechon. But one of the, major thing that we could offer to them is the tea after their dinner, after lunch. Here we had also dragon fruit. We started growing. Just an eye view of these plants will grow better, because our climate here, or specifically the rainfall, is totally different from the rest of the province. This growing greens is a family business. We have DTI. We have also the City Hall, the business permits, and everything here is legal, and we have all the permits required for these establishments. The very first vision here is we just wanted to enjoy the farming. And while doing the farming, we noticed that there's a big business lies ahead. Like for example, we just started with few things. It grows, and it grows. Other people visited here. We saw some importance. We saw some prospects. Before, we are the one who visit the other firms who will be interested to us. But nowadays, other institutions wanted to visit us here. Before, we are trying to market ourselves or the farms to them. Now, they are the one who's coming to the farm to make business with us. First, why did we have this? Because it's a love of farming. And then, as we go along, as I said, there were lots of opportunities. They know me as an agriculturist before. So aside from those, I was making also as I submit to other people's needs. Like you need some help, I went to their farms as a consultant, as a business partner, as everything. So from there it grows because maybe with a word of mouth. When we started this business or farm, we're not thinking of a business before, but the Department of Agriculture also helped us. Like for example, the water tank, before the concrete tank at the back, it is provided to us by the Department of Agriculture. So this water here was being distributed to the farmers below. One of the biggest expense before is land development. How to make these plots because it's rolling or sloping. So here the cost of development for the land is quite high because for every 1 or 2 linear meters you have to pay about 25 to 50 pesos per linear meter. So one of the major costs of the farm operation is the land development. Since I was working during that time, it's a loan, it's 5-6. One of my daughter, since we started with just paying a little amount of money to the owner every month, coming months, and then here comes my daughter wanted to have this area here, so she paid about X amount of money. We make the things that later on belongs to us. So one of the major problems in crop production first was the source of water, because here there's no spring. The water comes from the other mountain. I was looking for money, and thank God I was able to get that money, and we were established 2.4 kilometers of pipeline to bring the water in. So we were able to get water. And the other thing, because we have now the water, we have the land, so in order to maximize the area is to plant more, raise more animals. So that's why we were able to have such a production. Production-wise, right from the maintaining the soil fertility, feeding for the animals, I guess comparing to the period when we started the project, I guess we are more capable of
doing bigger and bigger projects for it. So we started with as a family enterprise or family use, but along the way, a lot of people is trying to inquire to us, ask us if we could supply them, and then little by little we were able to expand. And one good thing of this business is that not all of the farmers are into this business. Sooner or later, all of this area here will be focused by planting herbs. Only herbs, because there is a big market. Before, we're just looking at it for the use, but now it's beyond for our family use. The demand plus our connections and a lot of government agencies helping the farmers. If the farmers knows how to have linkage with these government offices. We started with only one store before, and it becomes double, 3, 4. Now we have 5 SM outlets. And just now we are working with Metro chain of stores, and I guess we have more than 20 outlets. Of this time, most of our products at the supermarkets are potted herbs, some ornamentals, and for the hotels and restaurants, these are the sweet basil. We cut the basil and some other herbs and deliver to the hotels and restaurants. But for say pork, baboy, fattening, just for the local markets. First, they are here as a worker, but when they are here as a worker, they also learn. So, working, earning money, and learning. So, while they're here, they learn and they apply also in their homes. They were just merely a worker now. They learn. And while we are here, we also try to connect to other farmers here. So we formed an association. We reach out cooperatives for the finance, not only for finance, for marketing and some other assistance. So not necessarily, when I was here, I just also see to it that my neighbors will also be upgraded, or we can go together to make markets. So, like here, we are one of the clusters here. So I produces the herbs, while the others are producing vegetables, other vegetables, and we try to collect it in one place from here, and then deliver it to the market. These projects here are being coordinated with LGU. We are closely monitored or in touch with the LGUs. Like for example, our fish ponds, the local government units provided us the pond liner, while the Bureau of Fisheries, they provided us the fry. So from the local government units, we have the barangay. Sometimes we have meetings with all the farmers in the barangays, and we talk from the barangay to the city agricultural department, to the national governments, the provincial governments. We have the linkage. So it is easier for us to connect these agencies, especially Ahmad. When you have to have this business, first, you should know if you really love the business. Second is, do you really need these things? Like for example, when we started, that's for our own use because we love to eat nice food, nice flavor, nice for the health, nice for everything. But it turned out into business. It doesn't mean you have to have this right away as a business, but you may try. Because if you don't love this also, like for example, we had this pandemic, there was no buyer, there's nothing. Because we love it, we need it, we use it, we keep on doing it until there's an opportunity for us to grow and grow and grow bigger. But giving some technology to other farmers. Since I'm an agriculturist, I started from scratch. The Department of Agriculture provided me the opportunity to attend some trainings, the Agricultural Training Institute and some institutions like Picard, BAR, the DA in itself, even my instructors before coming from UP, for EI, and for those people that may be interested in this production system, which may be totally different from the others, I could share this knowledge, this information through my FB, Oliver Patlingrao, and my email account. We can have also my Growing Greens Farm at gmail.com. And for my personal cell phone numbers, you can have my 0928-8281-464, my smart account. When you start the agribusiness like this, you have to learn it from the very knowledgeable persons, because if you don't get the right idea, if you don't get the right things to do, it might be costly for you to start. So go to your nearest knowledgeable persons. So meaning, if you say knowledgeable person, it doesn't mean only the agriculturist can do, but also the experienced farmers. Sa pagsasaka, may masaganang ani at mataas na kita.
Nakasuporta sa inyong kabuhayan, kaagapay nyo sa masaganang kinabukasan. Usapang Agrikultura dito sa Radyo Pilipinas.
Alright. Adto ang istorya san pagkamanilang puson. Tikang dito sa syudad San Cebu, sa Growing Greens Farm ni Sir Oliver Patlingrao. So inaton tanong nga adto nga istorya ay nakaghatag sa aton san inspirasyon nga maupay nga pagtikang para sa aton panibag-ong work week. Anyway mga ka-agri, may daketano ginbabantayan nga bagyo yana. Mao para sa aton weather update.
Radyo Pilipinas Weather.
Para sa aton kamutangan sa naton panahon, aadi an press briefing bahin sa Tropical Depression Warning. Aadi si Sir Daniel James Villamel, naton weather specialist tikang sa DOST Pag-asa Sentral.
Magandang umaga mula sa Pag-asa Weather Forecasting Center. Ito ng ating update sa magiging tayo ng panahon sa susunod na 24 oras at update na rin sa binabantayan nating bagyo sa loob ng ating Philippine Area of Responsibility. So kaninang madaling araw sa alas 2 ng umaga ay tuloy nang naging isang bagyo itong low pressure area na ating minomonitor. So binigyan natin ito ng local name or domestic name na Juaning. Itong tropical depression na ito kaninang alas 4 ng umaga, huli itong namataan sa layong 520 kilometers east-northeast ng Itbayat, Batanes. Ito ay may taglay na lakas ng hangin na malapit sa gitna na umaabot ng 45 kilometers per hour at pagbugso na umaabot ng 55 kilometers per hour. Yung movement nito ay north-northwestward sa bilis sa 10 kilometers per hour. So papalayo ito sa ating bansa at wala itong direktang epekto sa ating panahon ngayong araw. Samantala, ito namang isa pang bagyo sa labas naman ng ating PAR sa may West Philippine Sea na nasa labas na ng ating monitoring domain. Ay malayo ito sa ating bansa pero yung trough o yung extension nito ay umaabot sa kanurang bahagi ng Northern and Central Luzon. Kaya posible tayong makaranas ng mga kalat-kalat na pag-ulan as well as yung mga kaulapan na may kasamang thunderstorms dito sa areas ng Ilocos Region, Zambales, at sa Bataan. So humina na rin yung epekto ng habagat. So sa ngayon umiiral na lamang ito sa kanurang bahagi ng Southern Luzon. So for Metro Manila at nalalabing bahagi ng ating bansa ngayong araw dahil malayo nga itong bagyo, walang direktang epekto sa atin, makakaranas tayo ng maaliwalas na panahon, fair weather conditions maliban na lamang sa mga biglaan at panandaliang pag-ulan na dulot ng thunderstorms, especially sa hapon hanggang sa gabi. At ito naman yung ating latest track and intensity forecast para kay bagyong Juaning. So malayo nga itong si Juaning sa ating bansa, wala itong magiging direktang epekto sa ating panahon sa mga susunod na araw. Hindi rin natin ito inaasahan na hahatakin or palalakasin yung ating southwest monsoon o yung hanging habagat. Gayunpaman, ay magpapatuloy yung generally northward na paggalaw ni Juaning hanggang mamayang gabi. And then after that, magiging north-northeastward yung paggalaw nito patungo dito sa northern boundary ng ating Philippine Area of Responsibility. So dahil mananatiling malayo itong si Juaning sa ating bansa, hindi tayo magtataas ng tropical cyclone wind signal sa anumang bahagi ng ating kapuluan. So mapapanatili ni Juaning itong tropical depression intensity throughout the rest of the forecast period. Inasahan natin na posibleng lumabas si Juaning ng ating Philippine Area of Responsibility by mamayang gabi or bukas ng madaling araw. At para naman sa magiging lagay ng ating panahon ngayong araw dito sa Luzon, so itong ang kanlurang bahagi ng Northern and Central Luzon, so sa mga areas ng Ilocos Region, Zambales at sa Bataan, magpapatuloy yung mga kaulapan at mga kalat-kalat at pag-ulan na dulot nitong trough o yung extension ng tropical depression sa labas ng ating PAR dito sa may West Philippine Sea. So inasahan natin ang improving weather conditions possibly later in the day, pero ngayong madaling araw, asahan natin na magpapatuloy yung mga pag-ulan over portions of Northern and Central Luzon. Samantala, ay humina na rin yung hanging habagat kaya magpapatuloy na itong fair weather over most of Luzon. So Metro Manila and the rest of Luzon, so itong areas ng Cordillera, Cagayan Valley, nalalabing bahagi ng Central Luzon, Metro Manila, buong Mimaropa, Calabarzon at Bicol Region. Asahan natin itong maaliwalas sa panahon ngayong araw para magdala pa rin tayo ng payong dahil posible pa rin yung mga usual afternoon to evening na mga rain showers or thunderstorms. Sa bahagi naman ng Palawan, Visayas at sa Mindanao, hindi umaabot yung habagat over Visayas at Mindanao pero posible pa rin itong makaapekto over Palawan. So fair weather conditions pa rin na ating inaasahan, bahagyang maulap hanggang sa maulap na papagurin. At kasamahan lamang yan ng mga pulupulong pag-ulan na may pakulog at pakilad na dulot ng thunderstorms. So yung mga pag-ulan na ito, kadalasan nangyayari sa dakong hapon o sa gabi. So muli, inulit ko po, walang epekto yung bagyo sa atin, so magpapatuloy itong fair weather sa malaking bahagi na ating bansa. Sa kalagayan naman nating karagatan, sa kasalukuyan, walang nakataas na gale warning at banayad hanggang sa katamtamang pag-alon ang mararanasan over most of the country. Pero gayon pa man, iba yung pag-iingat pa rin sa ating mga kababayan na maglalayag sapagkat kung meron tayong offshore thunderstorms na yung mga pag-ulan sa ating mga dagat baybay, nasahan natin yung mga pagbugso ng hangin, kaakibat nito ang bahagyang pagtaas ng ating mga alon. Para naman sa ating weather outlook sa mga susunod na araw, so starting tomorrow, Tuesday hanggang sa Friday, ay magpapatuloy yung maaliwalas sa panahon ngayong araw over most of the country. Pero ayun nga, itong western section ng Northern and Central Luzon, asahan natin yung mga kalat-kalat na pag-ulan. Pero starting tomorrow, mababawasan yung mga pag-ulan over Northern and Central Luzon. Pero makakaranas naman tayo ng mga kalat-kalat na thunderstorms as well as yung mga kaulapan dito sa silangang bahagi ng Visayas at sa Mindanao. Bunsod yan ng salubungan ng dalawang hangin na nanggagaling sa magkaibang direksyon. So ito yung tinatawag nating convergence. Kung in meteorology, kung nakakaroon pa tayo ng convergence, ay dito nanggagaling yung ating mga kaulapan o yung mga thunderstorm clouds. So inasahan natin starting tomorrow, dahil sa convergence na ito, posible tayong makaranas ng cloudy skies o yung maulap na kalangitan at mataas sa tsansa ng mga pag-ulan dito nga sa silangang bahagi ng Visayas at sa Mindanao. So pagsapit ng Miyerkules hanggang sa Biyernes, dahil sa convergence na ito, mas rarami pang mga areas yung mga karanas ng pag-ulan. So malaking bahagi na or buong Visayas na, as well as itong Mindanao, pati na rin itong buong Southern Luzon. So areas ng Mimaropa as well as Bicol Region ay makakaranas ng mga pag-ulan. So mostly yung mga pag-ulan na ito focus dito sa areas na ito, itong northern portion ng Mindanao in particular. So itong mga rehiyon ng Zamboanga Peninsula, northern Mindanao at Caraga, over the next few days, sasaan po natin yung mga pag-ulan. So, dulot po yan ng convergence, yun nga, yung salubungan ng dalawang hangin na nanggagaling sa magkaibang direksyon. Samantala sa nalalabing bahagi ng ating bansa, ay magpapatuloy itong maaliwala sa panahon. So, ayun nga, mananatiling malayo itong si Bagyong Juaning sa ating kalupaan. Generally, pahilaga yung paggalaw nito, so lalabas rin ito na ating PAR possibly ngayong gabi or bukas madaling araw, at mababawasan na rin yung mga pag-ulan na dulot ng trough extension ng itong isa pang bagyo dito naman sa may West Philippine Sea sa labas ng ating PAR. So, fair weather ang ating inaasahan over most of Northern and Central Luzon, including Metro Manila, pero gawin pa man, magdala pa rin tayo ng pananggalang sa ulan dahil posible pa rin yung mga usual na afternoon to evening na mga rain showers or thunderstorms. At para sa karagdagang impormasyon tungkol sa ulot panahon, lalong-lalo na yung ating mga rainfall advisories, thunderstorm advisories, o yung mga heavy rainfall warnings na ini-issue ng ating Pag-asa Regional Centers sa ating mga lokalidad, ay follow kami sa aming social media accounts at DOST_Pag-asa. Mag-subscribe na rin kayo sa aming YouTube channel sa DOST Pag-asa Weather Report at palaging bisitahin ang aming official website sa pag-asa.dost.gov.ph at panahon.gov.ph. At yan naman po ang latest mula dito sa Pag-asa Weather Forecasting Center. Magandang umaga sa ating lahat. Ako po si Dan Villamil nag-uulat.
Yes, mga salamat Sir Daniel James Villamil, aton weather specialist tikang sa DOST Pag-asa Sentral. Ngan nga da nagtatapos mga ka-agri an usa na liwat nga mahinungdanon naton nga episode sa Usapang Agrikultura. Damo nga salamat sa nga tanan nga namati nga naghiling sa aton episode yan nga Lunes. Nga hinaot untano again nga na-inspire ka mo sa aton istorya san pagkamanilang puson tikang dito sa Cebu City. Ngan mga ka-agri, permi naton hinumduman nga naton mga parag-uma ug mga risda seraan backbone san aton sosyedad. Bueno, ginaimbitahan kam namon nga dumuyog naman sa aton masunod nga programa and morning report. Sa ngaran sa naton acting station manager Hinaro Navilon, ako Troyni si Suzette Pretencio. Salamat liwat sa aton nakaupod sa Master Control, Sir Joven Cardenas, ngan si Kuya Israel Ezra Taro. Bueno, updi kami niyo otro buwas nga adlaw sa parehas nga estasyon ngan sa parehas nga oras para sa aton kompas sa makabag-o nga paguma para sa Usapang Agrikultura.
Usapang Agrikultura, ang inyong source of daily agri-news. Talakayang siksik sa kaalaman, hatid ay impormasyon mula sa pamahalaan, pagpapayaman sa ating mga likas na yaman para mas mapaunlad pa ang isa sa mga paunahing kabuhayan sa ating bayan. Usapang Agrikultura, dito lang sa Radyo Pilipinas.